Hey, welcome back to the Wrestler TV channel. Today we got another figure setup. Now before we start, we all know wrestlers say racist things in the locker room. One of the more recent ones that we make fun of on this channel was the Jinder Mahal's promo on September 19th, 2017 on Shinsuke Nakamura.
You deserve better. The man is an artist. And here is his artistic face.
He said stuff like, Japanese feast on felines and dolphins. First of all, that's Chinese people, Jinder, who eat the cats, not the Japanese. Well, maybe the dolphin part, but not dolphins, but seafood in general. Hell, seafood is delicious. We could all agree to that, right? Now, I'm half Asian, so that didn't really bother me. I thought it was funny. So for today's figure setup, let's go and take a look at some of the times these wrestlers did some racist stuff. Before we start, hey, if it's your first time here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more awesome wrestling content. Now, since we mentioned Jinder Mahal, let's go ahead and start off with a Middle Eastern story, shall we? When the Ultimate Warrior retired, he had a side job of being a motivational speaker. Yes, that warrior. The same warrior from parts unknown and said a bunch of crap in his promos that made no sense, but it sounded cool at the time, didn't it? The warrior was invited to do some motivational speaking at some fancy schmancy college in Connecticut. At one point of his speech, he told a student of Middle Eastern descent that he needs to grab a towel, and that's why he's holding a towel. I'd probably say that was level 3 racist. Now, the warrior was never invited back to do a speech again, and even if the warrior paid the college millions and billions of dollars to make a speech to say sorry, it's not gonna happen. Why? Because the warrior is dead, damn it. Rest in peace to his soul. Now, since we're on the subject of some old school wrestlers, let's move along to Hulk Hogan. Here's Hulk Hogan sitting on his couch, having a racist phone call with somebody, and finding out that his daughter is dating a guy he doesn't like. The guy happens to be black. So he's saying things like, and I quote him on this, he said, I'd rather have her marry an 8-foot-tall N-word worth $100 million, like a basketball player. End of that stupid quote. This phone call made its way to the mainstream media, and it ruined him. So I'm gonna rate this racist level 7. McMahon stepped in and said, hey, that's racist level 7. You're fired immediately. Now, even though Hulk Hogan helped build the company, McMahon had to take him out of the Hall of Fame list, pulling out all of his merchandise as well. And worse, they didn't put him on WWE 2K18 or any of the other 2K games. So how about that? Now head your ass out to the door. Look at Vince McMahon doing the Hulk Hogan move right there, pointing to the door. And he's also saying, don't let the door hit your ass, Hulkster. Now, since we have Vince McMahon all set up here, right behind him is John Cena. Now, I don't know what the hell was going on through Vince McMahon's head during 2005 in the Survivor Series when he asked John Cena, hey, what's good in the hood? During this time, John Cena was known as the Doctor of Thugonomics. Wow, that's what people were buying into during that time. I'm really glad I stopped watching wrestling during that era. But now I'm back. Anyways, after Vince McMahon said, hey, what's good in the hood? John Cena replied, nothing, just chilling, just trying to handle business. Vince McMahon replied, alright, keep it up, my N-word. Now, I don't like saying that word, so I'm gonna say N-word, alright? Now, who the hell thought that would have been a good idea? Saying the N-word, live TV. You can't be saying the N-word freely like that unless you can. Isn't that the unspoken rule? You gotta be black to say it, which is why I don't say it. I do enjoy a lot of hip-hop music, but I always skip the part when the N-word comes on, you know, out of respect. Respect, like what John Cena always says. Hey, maybe John Cena should have practiced what he preached when McMahon said that. Now, since we're on the subject of people who can't say it, here's a guy who could say it, but he denied access to using the N-word card. Here's The Rock trying to fit in. You guys remember Ahmed Johnson, right? Of course not. 1, they don't have an elite action figure of him, and 2, he was relevant a long time ago, not so much anymore. So let's just pretend that this Hacksaw Jim Duggan figure is Ahmed Johnson. Now, I know what you're saying. Resner, Ahmed Johnson is a black man. Yes, I know that. But if I pulled out a figure of a black wrestler to replace Ahmed Johnson, then you guys would think it's racist. So that's why I'm using Hacksaw Jim Duggan, a white dude. Now, Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, is half black and half Samoan, if you didn't already know. So one day, D-Generation X was hanging out in the locker rooms with The Rock, hanging out with them. Because DX were the cool kids during the time. Rock was just this jabroni that wanted to be part of the cool crowd. Now, Ahmed Johnson, played by Hacksaw Jim Duggan on this episode of Figure Setup, he overheard their conversation and The Rock was denying that he's half black. Now why would someone be embarrassed of their heritage? That's what God gave you. Deal with it. Take it as a blessing. The Rock told DX that his mother is Samoan and his mom slept with a white man. And they created The Rock. You ain't gotta lie to kick it, Rock. But hey, all that lying to kick it paid off. Because in the end, Rock is this big shot movie star now. And the members of DX are stuck. Stuck doing wrestling stuff. Some of them even retired. Some of them even dead. Rest in peace, China. So now The Rock is enjoying all that Hollywood money. And my, have the tables turned. Now before we move on, hey, don't be ashamed of what your heritage is, people. Embrace it. If you're a kid in high school right now, and you got other stupid students making fun of you because you're a different race than them, just let it go. Just know that they probably come from a household where their mom and dad is related, and they don't know any better. Now moving along to the ring, here we have Randy Orton delivering a promo to Kofi Kingston. Now during this event, right behind Kofi Kingston was supposed to be Mark Henry and MVP standing right behind him, who I don't have action figures of because I wasn't really a big fan of them. Now, this is when Randy Orton was a part of the Legacy and he was playing the part of a heel. Now if you're a heel, there's other creative ways to say things. Racial shots and delivering a heel promo is very, very tasteless. Randy Orton was on stage saying things like Kofi Kingston is nothing but a street thug, which is a stereotype. He also says MVP is a criminal and Mark Henry stole his victories. And he ends it by saying they don't belong here. They belong in the hood. Wow, Orton. You're lucky somebody in the crowd didn't yell World Star at the time, because that would have set things off. Now let's set things off by bringing all these wrestlers who made racist remarks in the ring and introduce them to some TLC, tables, ladders, and chairs. Now before we do the tables, ladders, chairs, let's go and take one last look at this setup right here. Here we got Randy Orton saying some racial remarks to Kofi Kingston, MVP, and Mark Henry. But obviously that's not them. I don't have their action figures. Now, we move along to the backstage. And we got The Rock denying that he's black because he's trying to fit in with the old DX crew. And then we move to the Survivor Series where Vince McMahon dropped the N-bomb while talking to John Cena. Not cool, man. Not cool. And then we move along to Hulk Hogan's house where he's on the phone saying some racial remarks to whoever the hell he was talking to. And lastly, we head to that fancy schmancy college where the Ultimate Warrior was doing a motivational speech and telling some Middle Eastern guy to hand him a towel. Tasteless, man. Tasteless. Now, let's get back to our tables, ladders, and chairs. Here we go. Now we got them all set up. Now they must pay for being scumbags and doing some racist stuff. Let's start with some chairs. Oh, Randy Orton is down. The Hulk. The Hulkster, he's down. Ultimate Warrior, The Rock, he's down. Who else? We got, Vince. Vince McMahon. Now, who is the worst out of these guys? Let's get these three right here. There goes the table. And now, these two bastards will get the ladder. Oh, yes. Awesome. Hey, my name is Resner. This is Resner TV. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for more awesome wrestling content. Resner, out. Randy Orton is down. The Hulkster, he's down. Ultimate Warrior, The Rock, he's down. Who else? We got, Vince McMahon.